First and foremost, I would like to extend a huge thanks and shout out to my friends over at Old National Auto Sales in Paragon, Indiana for allowing me to come out and film this incredible time capsule of a car. They have an ever-changing inventory of some really cool vehicles where I have filmed this, and this. Make sure you give them a look online as they have an ever-changing inventory.
Here we have a 1989 Ford Econoline E-350. At first glance, it's about as straightforward as a van can get. By the late 1980s, the Econoline had already cemented itself as the backbone of America's work fleet. If you needed strength, reliability, and the ability to take on just about any job, chances are you turned to one of these. This one was built with a heavy-duty 9,500-pound gross vehicle weight rating, Ford's 5.8-liter Windsor V8 under the hood, and the bulletproof C6 3-speed automatic transmission. It's rugged, it's simple, and it's designed to work all day, every day. From the outside, there's nothing particularly flashy here, just those squared-off Ford lines, utilitarian burgundy paint finish, and the kind of presence you'd expect from a no-nonsense commercial van. These were everywhere back in the day, from delivery trucks to ambulances, shuttle buses, and everything in between. But here's the thing, not all Econolines were created equal. Some were built with very specific jobs in mind, and some of them carried equipment that you'd never expect to find hiding behind those plain steel walls. And this one? Let's just say there's something very unique lying in wait, something that makes this old work van unlike any Econoline you've ever seen before.
Hey everyone, in today's latest episode of the In-Depth Review series, we are covering something really cool. It is a 1989 Ford Econoline. This is an Econoline E-350. It is the heavy-duty version of the van. It is a panel van. It does not have any windows, and it just have a sliding door. So it is a work van in the truest sense, and it is a heavy-duty one at that. Now this E350 is painted in the medium red. It actually looks more like a dark red metallic, but that was not the color option available. And it does have the red basic interior. It doesn't have any kind of luxury trimmings or anything like that, but it is pretty cool. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find the when new pricing for this vehicle, but if I do happen to find something, I'll put it up on the screen. Now this van actually has something installed on it that is actually really cool, very unique, and you'll just have to stay tuned to see exactly what it is. And pretty excited to show it to you. That's why I'm reviewing this van, because of that feature alone. Today's review is going to be a full in-depth review. We're going to cover everything from the exterior to the interior, powertrain, performance, and everything else in between.
The power in this van comes in the form of Ford's cast iron block and head overhead valve 5.8-liter 351 cubic inch Windsor V8 engine. This engine features Ford's EEC4 electronic engine controller and electronic multi-port fuel injection with an 8.8 to 1 compression ratio. This engine creates 210 horsepower at 4,000 RPM and 315 pound-feet of torque at 2,800 RPM. The van could accelerate, if you care to listen, from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 14 seconds. The Econoline has a gross vehicle weight rating of 9,500 pounds with a payload capacity of around 4,650 pounds and can tow up to 8,000 pounds in this configuration. While it looks like our Econoline has the dual fuel system, the front tank has been disconnected. We only have the 22 US gallon fuel tank in service. The E350 consumes 9.1 gallons per 100 miles driven and has an estimated total driving range of 242 miles. EPA fuel economy figures are 10 miles per gallon in the city, 12 miles per gallon on the highway, and a combined average of 11 miles per gallon. The transmission in this van is as old as the hills, however, is extremely reliable and durable. It is the Ford C6 heavy-duty 3-speed fully hydraulic automatic with a heavy-duty lock-up torque converter and a 1-to-1 direct drive third gear. This van is also equipped with Ford's 10.25-inch 410 rear axle configuration. steering is hydraulic power assisted recirculating ball with 4 turns lock to lock and a 24.5-foot curb to curb turning radius with a 20 to 1 overall steering ratio. The wheels are basically just chrome 15-inch wheels, and brakes on this vehicle are hydraulic power assisted front disc rear drums with no assist aids. Up front we have vented 12.1-inch rotors with twin piston calipers. In the rear we have 12 by 3.5-inch heavy duty drums. The brakes could halt this very heavy van from 70 miles per hour to 0 in about 240 feet with tons of lockup, I would assume.
Now, just like I do in all of my videos, of course I will cover the rear end styling in depth, but as you can see, it is just a basic Ford Econoline. You do have the twin opening doors. Other than that, there's not much to look at back here. It does have a lot of cargo room if it didn't have what it has inside it, but like I said, we're going to cover that in depth. Alright, you're looking around the rear of the E-350. There's not really much to report back here as far as styling is concerned. It's pretty much a slab-sided panel van. Very much a Ford truck from the 1980s. As you can see on this side, there's absolutely no windows. It is a full panel van. There's also no door on the driver's side because that was not a thing back then. You will note the twin fuel doors, although I do believe the front tank has been removed. But this truck was originally equipped with twin tanks. You have your side marker lights here, and of course your tail lights here. They wouldn't look out of place in like a F-150 or anything like that. Just normal incandescent bulbs. You do have reflectors, of course, and reverse lights. And it all covers the tail lights, brake lights, and all that kind of stuff. You do have chrome bumpers, which is kind of cool. And as you can see, it does have the 2 coach doors back here instead of the lift gate or a big panel. So twin opening doors and decent rear visibility because of the 2 rear windows. You do have the license plate mount there. Of course, you can lock the vehicle back here. Large Ford logo. Other than that, not much to show. Oh, the dual exhaust is pretty cool though. The aftermarket exhaust. That looks pretty slick. Now, as we walk along the profile of the vehicle, I don't think this is the long wheelbase. I think this is actually the short wheelbase, or the shorter wheelbase nonetheless. I do have the measurements on screen. I know it's a 138-inch wheelbase, but all the exterior dimensions are on screen. As you can see, it does have the sliding door. It's just really cool to see these old vans still in pretty decent shape today and still on the road. Now, as we walk along the front of the van, it is more traditional Ford truck styled up here. Looks a lot like the brick nose F-150s, albeit with the stubby nose on it because of the way the engine is designed. Most of the engine is actually accessible through the doghouse. However, I do not have the bolts or anything like that to unbolt, so I'm not going to show that portion of it. All right, looking around the front of the Econoline, it looks very much Ford truck up here. It has the brick nose style. Of course, we've also got halogen headlamps and incandescent turn indicators. Now, this van is equipped with a rear sliding door, but what's behind that door we'll show in just a moment. But you do have a chrome door pull there. We've also got chrome door handles here as well. The A-frame style adjustable mirrors. The Econoline, the line portion fell off, but the Econoline 350 badging. Of course, you do have that short front hood that is pretty much unmistakable of the Econoline. Massive off-road tires, front amber marker lights. As I said before, we do have the halogen headlamps, incandescent turn indicators, and of course we also have the brick nose style grille and the chrome bumper. All right, now before we get inside, let's take a look and see what we have for keys. 2 keys. We have the square-headed key here, and then we have an oval key here. Now, the oval key is for your locks. So locking and unlocking all the vehicle doors. Turning it towards the rear of the car or towards the right will lock it. Turn it towards the front or to the left, unlocks it. The square key, of course, is your ignition key. All right, let's hop inside. I do like the push button handles here, nice chrome. Gives the door a nice solid clunky feeling when you open it up. All right, and check those seats out. Just very basic non-adjustable bucket seats. They do adjust for 4.5, but there's no seat back adjustment or anything like that. But actually they are pretty comfortable. We'll cover those here in just a moment. Taking a look at the door panels here, the door panels are very basic, but Ford decided to gussy things up a little bit and put some wood trim harvested from the plastic forest. And it is bordered on either side by a chrome strip, which actually looks kind of nice. You do have a padded vinyl material on the door panels, and they do have a stitched pattern. It's not actual stitching, it's just molded, but it gives it kind of a little bit more upscale feel. What's left of the driver's side armrest, these things were prone to wear over time, and at the age of this vehicle, it's to be known, to be expected. Door releases are in here, just like they are on the current F-Series. And then, of course, we have normal window winders because we don't have power windows here, but they work actually very smoothly. Another nice welcome feature is the opening vent windows. Those work phenomenally at speed. Then, of course, we have a map pocket here and some stereo speakers here in the door. And let's go ahead and take a look at the driver's side footwell. Well, actually, let's just look at the driver's side instrument panel. Basic wiper washer controls here. No intermittent here. You do have a air vent here that's adjustable. Headlamp controls here. And then there is an auxiliary warning light. I think the only light in this one is check engine light, but there might be some more. Then we have our parking brake release. We have our hood release here. We have our front and rear fuel selector switch. We have the high beam indicator here. Here is your parking brake, and here is your gas and accelerator. And then this is actually one of the hinges to latch the doghouse in place. This is kind of a giveaway. Here, it is not a shift lever, but it is a PTO drive unit from the engine. You'll also note that this vehicle has what looks to be highly slip resistant mats. That kind of goes along with what this vehicle has. On the seat here, this lever here just adjusts your fore and aft, but there is no recline or anything like that. Taking a look at the seats, this side on the passenger side is a lot less wear because I don't think passengers rode in this one, but it is that comfort weave style vinyl. It's a breathable vinyl. Perforations allow air to pass, and they're very sculpted bucket seats here, and they're actually quite comfortable, believe it or not. They actually form fit pretty well, and the foam is pretty nice and solid. This part of the seat has been taped up, but overall the seats are in pretty good shape. All right, let's go ahead and hop inside the Econoline and check out the rest of the interior. All right, now that we're inside, we're going to pan through the interior. We're going to show more details here. Just a vinyl steering wheel here. It's just a two-spoke steering wheel, very reminiscent of Ford's A-frame style. It does have the horn buttons here. And then multifunction control, we don't really have one. We just have turn indicators here, and then those kind of things. And your Prindle is right here. Of course, you have your shift lever. And other than that, there's nothing. There's no tilt wheel, no cruise control or anything like that. But we do have the automatic transmission. And then facing ahead of us is a pretty comprehensive set of gauges minus a tachometer. So we're going to cover those. So over here, we do have the oil pressure gauge, fuel level, our seatbelt warning light, and our left-hand turn indicator. Central, we have our 85 mile per hour speedometer. And that little square up there is our high beam indicator. Moving over here to the right, we have our battery voltage and our coolant temperature, along with a brake warning light and our right-hand turn indicator. All right, panning over the top of the dash, as you can see, the dash pad is still in pretty good shape. I'm not sure if it's aftermarket, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually factory. And it's in good shape all the way across. The passenger does have their own positional air vent. And then we have the Econoline badge here and a, I don't know if it's like a bird's eye maple style trim or something, but it's pretty interesting, the weave on it. We do have 2 adjustable air vents here that can be adjusted independently. We have an odds and end tray here. We have the ashtray here, what could be used as a cup holder possibly. We do have an AM/FM radio, no cassette player. And we've also got very basic climate controls, no air conditioning. So our slider up top controls air temperature. This controls our fan speed here. And this bottom lever controls our panel distribution. So we do have the vent, floor, mix, and defroster. These are all heater controls, or we can turn the system off. Cigarette lighter or a 12-volt power point. Moving down the doghouse, nothing here to report. There's no glove box or anything like that. Here are our seatbelt buckles and more of the slip-resistant floor trim. But as you can see here, we do have an overhead dome light. We also have a day-night manually dimming rearview mirror. Very large sun visors. No vanity mirrors on these. These are probably pulled right out of the 1970s. They're just a very basic cardboard wrapped in vinyl, but they do swing all the way out, and they don't need to slide because look at that coverage. Now, since this is a work van, it doesn't have really a good headliner trim. It does have a piece of fiberboard up here, but there's no plastic trim or anything like that goes past the A-pillars. And then, of course, we do have our seat belts that are not height adjustable. And that is the front seat section of the 89 Econoline. All right, if you made it this far, this is the part of the video where I show you why I wanted to film this van in the first place. Besides it being an Econoline, we're going to open up the sliding door, and I'm going to show you the really unique feature that's behind this door. And there it is, the Butler system. The ultimate van-powered carpet and upholstery cleaning system. I have never seen one of these before. It does have a motor pump that is driven off the engine via PTO. It has a whole signage thing here to check daily, check weekly, and check monthly. Has all of your hydraulics, everything, all your components, the actual pump itself. Of course, we also have our control panel here. It shows our chemical flow meter here. It is just a gravity feed style flow meter, hour meter, and this machine currently has 4,215.8 hours of work time. All of the gauges on this are Stewart Warner. Down below, we do have our chemical flow control, the cleaning mode, so we can turn it off, turn cleaning mode or extraction mode. We have the water temperature, the oil level viewer, the tachometer, the vacuum indicator, the lubricating port here, a clock. Down here we do have auxiliary outlets. We also have the oil drain. We have a garden hose connector, a hot water connector, and then some high pressure connectors here because it does have a built-in pressure washer style hose. And of course we have our fill tanks here, and it lets you know when they're full. And then the operation instructions here. And then this pull down is an old schematic of how this system works. It is color coded too to reflect what the systems are: cold water, hot water, all that kind of stuff, high pressure, oils, everything. It's really, really cool. And of course we have a bunch of hoses back here, a massive hose reel back here, another collection tank in the background over there, and you can also see its fill meter as well. You can store like attachments and stuff on that. But how cool is that? Have you ever seen one of these in a van? I'm sure it was a pretty popular thing back then, because especially designed to fit in the back of one of these cargo vans. But I myself have never seen this before, so I thought it was really cool, and I thought I would share that with you guys. Other than that, there's nothing else to show back here. There's no seats or anything like that. But let's go ahead and walk around to the cargo area. We're going to show that part next. All right, as we walk along the back, we're going to open up the cargo area. Open up that Right-hand door first. You do have a inside release handle here, and we do have fabricated storage compartments that are drilled into the sheet metal itself. And of course, we've also got Ford's jacking instructions, because you do have your bottle jack, and all the jacking tools are back here as well. Another odds and ends reel holder for attachments or whatever. To open up this side, lift up on this lever, and that door opens up. As you can see, with the door completely open, you can get a better look inside. That's the back end of one of the fill tanks, the back end of the massive hose reel that goes into the collection tanks. Of course, we have another hanger here, some clips to hold hoses or tools, another fabricated rack. It has the pressure washer connector for one of the vacuum extractors. And then, of course, we just have an odds and ends tray and just a carpeted area back here. But yeah, really, really cool, isn't it? Like I said, I've never seen anything like this, but it mounts very cleanly in place. It was actually fitted exactly for this vehicle, so it's a custom built job here. To close the doors. All right, and there we have it, the in-depth review of this very unique 1989 Ford Econoline E-350. We do hope you found the review informative, and if you did, please comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/neighborhoodcarreviews, or our Instagram channel at BrentsOJ1. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.